As the war in Ukraine grinds toward its fourth year, U.S. President Donald Trump is now placing the blame for the deadlock squarely on one man. In an interview with Reuters, Trump said Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is the main impediment to reaching a peace deal with Russia. Trump, who has struggled throughout his presidency to end the war, despite campaign promises that he could do it in a single day, said Russian President Vladimir Putin is ready to negotiate. "We have to get President Zelensky to go along with it," Trump said, adding that while he has criticized both leaders in the past, he believes Ukraine is now less willing than Moscow to compromise. Those remarks were immediately seized upon in Moscow. The Kremlin says it agrees with Trump's assessment, insisting it is Ukraine, not Russia, that is blocking peace. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said Russia remains open to talks and that its position is already well known to American negotiators and to Trump himself. Moscow claims the window for Ukraine to make decisions is rapidly closing. According to the Kremlin, the situation for Kyiv is deteriorating day by day as Russian forces maintain control over roughly one-fifth of Ukraine, including Crimea and large parts of the east. The time has come for Zelensky to take responsibility and make the appropriate decision, Peskov said.
Donald Trump gave a fairly lengthy interview last night in which he said, among other things, that it is Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, not Putin, who is hindering the peace process. Have you seen these statements by the American president, and how would you comment on them? We can agree with that. It is indeed true. President Putin and the Russian side remain open to the peace process. The Russian position is well known to both the American negotiators and President Trump. It is also well known in Kyiv and to the Kyiv regime's leadership. It is a consistent position. The situation continues to deteriorate for the Kyiv regime day by day, as we have discussed. The window of opportunity for the Kyiv regime to make decisions is narrowing. Last year, we stated that it was certainly time for Zelensky to take responsibility and make the appropriate decision. So far, Kyiv has not done so. Information has emerged that within the next week, Trump's special envoy, Witkoff, and U.S. President's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, will visit Russia to obtain the president's response to peace initiatives concerning Ukraine. In particular, there is also information that Putin is allegedly ready to agree to the deployment of a peacekeeping contingent in Ukraine if it also includes military personnel from China and countries of the global south. Can you confirm the visit by Kushner and Witkoff, and accordingly the president's position on peacekeepers? The existing channels of communication with American negotiators continue to function. This dialogue is ongoing. As soon as the date is agreed upon, we hope that such a visit will take place. We consider the continuation of the dialogue to be necessary, relevant, and important. There have been many discussions between the Americans, Ukrainians, and Europeans. It is important that the Russian side also expresses its views on the discussions that are taking place. I cannot confirm the second part of your question.
Russia has not backed down from its demand that Ukraine withdraw troops from territories Moscow claims as its own, warning those lands will be taken by force if diplomacy fails. Ukraine has rejected any deal that cedes territory, instead calling for a ceasefire along current front lines. Behind the scenes, U.S.-led talks have focused on post-war security guarantees, even floating the idea of a free economic zone if Ukraine pulls back its forces. But European allies remain deeply skeptical, warning that Putin may be seeking more land, not peace. As winter bites hard, with parts of Kyiv without heating amid sub-zero temperatures, the pressure is mounting.
The power outages are unpredictable.
Well, we barely managed to charge all the phones that are absolutely necessary.
Little flashlights.
Okay. We don't have any heating at our place, and the kindergarten doesn't have any heating at all either.
Well, we only have one radiator that's just barely warm, so I believe we've been quite fortunate. especially when compared to others. And during the night, it's naturally much colder. We have to use every single blanket that we have in the house. We're waiting for a brief power supply, so we can at least sometimes turn on the electric heater
and recharge the flashlights.
We have a gas stove, so for the cooking of our meals. We have everything we could possibly need for this.
Well, yes, it's really, really cold over there.
When there is no light, we then wrap ourselves up in blankets, and that's how we move around.
The walls are cooling, the walls grow cold, and it's as if life in the house stops. That's the feeling. You walk around in this cold, and well, thank God we didn't live to see those truly awful moments, because if it had been a week, let's say, or even longer, it would have been an absolute nightmare. People's pipes burst here when the heating was finally turned on. So everywhere has its own catastrophes, both small and large.
Well, I, for example, have already grown accustomed to this horrible cold. You can see how I am dressed.
100 fasteners, and yet all of them without fasteners.
To endure something like this, of course, is truly very difficult. They even managed to survive the Great Patriotic War, and now here we are, facing yet another war like this.
Terrible, just terrible.
The Kremlin says time is running out. Trump says Zelensky must move. And as the 4th anniversary of the war approaches, the question now is no longer just how the war ends, but who will be blamed if it doesn't.